guys, Sam here. Welcome back to another video, and today I am gonna be recovering another book. So I've recovered the first two Lemony Snicket books called A Series of Unfortunate Events, the first two books in the series, which are called The Bad Beginning and The Reptile Room. By the way, if you hear any noises, that is my cat Luna. She's up on the bed with me right now while I'm filming this. So, today we are going to be covering the book, The Wingfeather Saga, the first book in the saga called On the Edge of the Dark Sea of Darkness. This is by Andrew Peterson, which I've only finished this book. I am halfway through the second right now, and this one was amazing. I loved this book. This was a present that I got. I got the full saga as a birthday present when it was my birthday from my brother and his wife. They're awesome. They gave me this entire saga. I've read the first book in about 2 months. It took me about 2 months to finish it. Actually, no. It took me about a month, actually. Just a month to finish it. And there were only about 3 days that I didn't read it. So, yeah, that just shows you how much I cared for this book, like how much I loved reading this book. So that's just how much I loved it. But this is what happened in the story. So, in the very beginning of the book, we meet these people. There's this family, the siblings, the 3 siblings. Janitor's the oldest, Tink is the middle child, and Lily is the youngest, and she is a girl. And she has this dog named Nugget, who does a lot of important stuff later in the book. And we meet their grandfather, Poto, and their mother, Nia, because their actual father, is dead. So, yeah. Now, let's talk about what going forward in. So they are about to do the Dragons Festival, so they allowed Janitor, Tink, and Lily to all go there. So that's what they did. They went there, and some crazy stuff happened. They lost Lily twice, and the second time they lost her, they ran into this Fang, and I don't remember his name. I think his name is like Skay or something. I forgot his name. I haven't read this in a while, so and the second one doesn't really have him as much, so I don't remember his name. But I'm just going to call him Skay for now. So his name is Skay. I'm just going to call him that. And he almost kills Lily and Nugget, but Janner and Tink punch him, and then he goes to like this mental hospital later in the book. And then Lily sings a dragon song. And then that was the end of their first day. And they slept, and it was a pretty weird day, as nobody knew what the dragon song was, so it's very surprising that Lily sang it, and Lily's the youngest. And also we find out about Granadorf, who is kind of like the master who has these bunch of slaves. Everyone's slaves. And it's very weird, and he's kind of creepy, but that's besides the point. So, then other stuff that happened in the book. I think later on in the book, we meet this guy named Pete the Sockman. I know that happens. Pete the Sockman was one of my favorite characters. In this book, we meet a ton of characters, actually. We also meet this guy named Oscar, who is the bookkeeper, and his little guy, Zuzab, who is besties with Tink. At least I'm pretty sure they're besties. So, in another situation, Lily and Nugget get caught again. Poto goes with them, and Pete the Sockman rescues them. So then after that day, Janner, Tink, and Lily, because they were talking about Pete the Sockman, like, oh, he's this wonderful guy. And then Poto and Nia said, don't go anywhere near him. So then everyone's confused, like, why? So then on the next day, Janner, Tink, and Lily and Nugget all go to Pete the Sockman's house. And it's very weird. However, they never run into Pete the Sockman himself. So it's kind of strange, I guess. And then on the next day, they actually do run into him, and they go back to his house, and then they talk to each other, and Pete the Sockman pretends he's like this guy who has like mental issues. So then when Janitor Tink and Lily go back to their own house the second time, there's just explode up. And also Skay, which I'm just calling him Skay for now, he killed one of the biggest fangs called Vop. And then back at the explosive at the Idgebee's house, which is their last name, family's name, there was an explosive and it killed Nugget apparently. It did. So then Granadorf and Skay capture all the Idgebees. However, they end up escaping from jail, from their cell, and then Pete the Sockman and Zuzab come in, and then they end up killing Granadorf. But then the whole city is almost going to blow up. So then they try to warn all the people about what might happen to their city. I forget what the city's name is. And I'm like, it'll be fine. It's no big deal. So then a bunch of other things happen. Nia and Lily stay with Oscar, and Pete, Janner, and Tink, and Poto all went on to do their own thing, like a girls' night and a boys' night, besides Oscar is with the others. And one day, after that day, Nia and Lily find out that Zuzab has betrayed Oscar, and then we don't really see Zuzab anymore. So then everything becomes weird. So then Nia and Lily think that they're dead, and then we see that Nugget is actually alive because of Pete the Sockman. So then they all stay in Pete's house, and then we find out a ton of information. So the reason why Poto and Nia weren't letting the kids around Pete is because one day, long ago, Pete was fighting for their father, and I gotta go fast, but he didn't make it. So that's basically the end of the book, and I love this book. Bye.